Welcome back to Frienditas,
the channel where two introverts
do the one thing homebodies never do:
leave the house.
The Frienditas are in South Korea for the first time in their lives.
The bus drivers here in Korea.
I think they were trained to drive roller coasters.
Join us as we take a train all the way down to Busan from Seoul.
And begin our Busan adventure at oryukdo skywalk.
Sometimes it can feel like there's a one-note impression that's pushed of Korean culture. Having that all turn on its head and not be the case has been so great.
Watch as we try the Busan specialty milmyeon for the first time.
What makes it different is that they used wheat noodles instead of the traditional buckwheat noodles.
They're very bouncy, very chewy.
And take in the seaside beauty that is haedong yonggungsa temple.
We got hotteok outside of the temple.
Wow, that is delicious.
This is our first time in Busan. The Frienditas are in South Korea.
Woo! Thank you again for joining us for yet another video. We are signing in here in Seoul on our way to Seoul Station.
And we are taking a train to Busan. Ooh. And so we actually were able to book our tickets online and pick our seats. And so all we had to do was just arrive on the day of to Seoul Station.
We actually had a couple different options to go to Busan from Seoul. The fastest option is the KTX. It's the bullet train, but as you imagine, it's also the most expensive. And then ITX is mid-tier, and it's not as fast, but it is more affordable. And then the last option just uses a bunch of local trains. That one takes the longest and it's the cheapest. We chose ITX because the cost savings would actually cover our Ubers to and from the stations. Also, when you choose your seats on the train, you can select ones that are specifically next to luggage storage sections of the train. It's very helpful. And make sure to hit apply selection, that button at the very bottom, before you make your reservation so that it is stored in your reservation ticket.
On travel days, it's not like we have anywhere else to go or any other appointments to make because we usually block out the whole day.
When we arrived at the station, it was half open air, so you could see pigeons walking around. It was actually very adorable. Once we got on the train, it was pretty much smooth sailing. There are bathrooms on the train, which is really nice, and places to put your luggage. In order to secure a seat next to one of the luggage storage areas, you'll want to book a ticket maybe weeks in advance, just to guarantee that you'll get a seat that you want, because they do fill up pretty quickly. And then before we got on the train, we made sure to get some drinks for the long road ahead.
We appreciated being able to take a slower train so that we could kind of see the countryside and just a lot more of South Korea than we would have otherwise, because South Korea is not just bustling cities, but it is also just a lot of nature.
We planned to take the bus down, and it was really easy for us because it was just one bus, the 24 bus specifically.
We started our day at Samjung Tower on our way to Oryukdo. Luckily, Busan itself is also pretty well connected via public transport, so not only trains but also their bus system.
We actually really enjoyed the public transportation system in Busan. Immediately from the bus stop, you can start to see the view open up in front of you.
And the backdrop too is just absolutely gorgeous. Not only the cliffside view, but also just the neighborhood view.
It was like something out of a painting, seeing this cloud over Haeundae Beach. Maybe it was actually just fog, but from far away, it was beautiful seeing just the couple buildings peek up over the top.
We absolutely loved how vibrant the colors were on the seaside, because all the colors and nature going together, it was just so beautiful to see.
It was a nice combination of how tourist attractions can play nicely with nature. These islets out in the distance, seriously, they look so unreal.
They kind of look like turtles almost, kind of like in Avatar, The Last Airbender, like ancient turtles just sleeping out in the ocean.
One of them seemed to have some sort of building onto the side of it, but we couldn't see because it was on the other side of the islet, but it was incredibly picturesque. It seemed like further down you could walk. It might have been a bit of a hike and maybe only reserved for when the weather's okay and the water isn't too rough.
Something that we absolutely love about Busan as we got used to it is that it is just this amazing city in between mountains and beaches, or just the ocean really. And so having that sense of nature all around you basically all the time felt so serene and just relaxing.
There's a wonderful cafe here too, but before we went into it, we decided to go straight to the skywalk.
Luckily, the skywalk itself is actually free to view, so you don't need to worry about booking any tickets or anything. It is just walking up and going out to the view.
That made us so happy because we love to see views like this and to not have to worry about timing or being charged is amazing, especially with a quality view like this. It wasn't too crowded today, which was amazing for us. We could leisurely take our time taking in all the views.
They even had these binocular stands where we could just look through, and it was also free, so that is a fun treat to have.
To get onto the skywalk, you have to put on these foot covers. They provide them for free. You put them over your shoes or your sandals, and then you can walk straight out onto the glass. Mind you, for people who are a little scared of heights, there is a huge drop off, and you will see it when you're walking on the glass itself.
So if you're a little queasy with heights, maybe just take in the view before the actual bridge.
It is a really fun experience though. Skywalk is a great name because it is like you're walking on the sky. Depending on the weather, it's also good to be mindful of any hats or umbrellas or loose things that you're wearing because they can blow away. And once you're out on the skywalk, you get the best vantage point, looking out into the ocean, into the islets. It was really nice seeing through the glass because the glass wasn't too scratched up thanks to this rule they have of having people wear foot covers.
And then on your way back from the skywalk, you just see Busan.
So we got the jujube ginger tea iced and then the yogurt smoothie iced.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are coming to you live from a cafe at the Busan Skywalk.
It's the Oryukdo skywalk. It's at one of the tips of Busan, and it's accessible through bus to get here, specifically the 24 bus.
We started the day by taking a bus from closer to the city center, more or less, and then it was an hour ride to get down here. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward.
This is the red jujube ginger tea. It's very healthy.
I really like how the ginger tastes. It's a yogurt smoothie. This tastes very much like yogurt.
Yeah, this tastes like drinkable yogurt, really. So this is our first official video here in South Korea. We have kind of taken a bit of a breather for us here. So we've actually been here for a little bit now, but we only just now started recording because we just wanted to take a break for us.
We've been doing YouTube nonstop for a while now, and at the point of recording this video, it is still a labor of love. We do appreciate the people who are watching very much. It's been an interesting journey for us. We have felt some burnout here and there, and in order for us to continue doing this, because we want to, I think it was important for us to take a break, take a breather, reassess how we want to show up for YouTube.
I'm so glad that we are traveling for us, that we are traveling so that we can have our experiences and our opinions of any place that we go to, because I am not going to be falling for propaganda from what people post online and how everyone says usually the same thing about places. For example, I was actually nervous to come to South Korea because of many factors, but I was worried about being a foreigner and then a woman here in South Korea, especially, non-Korean. Like, I was worried that I would feel ostracized here, to be honest. And I was worried about being able to find clothing, find things that I needed, find things for like my skin type, my body type, things like that. And honestly, I've had no troubles. I've had no troubles at all. If anything, people have been so kind here and so helpful, and I have not felt any sense of nervous or that I'm not supposed to be here. If anything, I feel like I'm supposed to be here now, especially.
South Korea is one of those places where we feel that a lot is said in the media and in social media about it, but how much of that is from first-hand experience versus repeating what other people have said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then also seeing the repetition of what people say, people kind of already, even if they're visiting here, people already assume those judgments or those mindsets and then just kind of look for it in their visits here. Whereas for us, knowing that that can be a lot of people's experiences, maybe some negative ones or some cautionary ones, we understand that can be other people's experiences, but we were like, well, how are our experiences going to be different here? With the rise of Korean media, sometimes it can feel like there's a one-note impression that's pushed of Korean culture. How I have felt ingesting what a lot of people and media has said is that oh, you have to basically be a 10 coming here. You have to have all your stuff together when you're here, and you have to be really with it and really in the know about Korean culture to be here, even as a foreigner. Having that all turn on its head and not be the case has been so great. I've really quickly come to love being here in South Korea. I think why I emphasize a lot of the physical appearance of showing up here in Korea is because that's a lot of what's pushed. People push like, oh, you have to be very beautiful and very talented and all these kind of physical external things to be worthy of being here in Korea. And I think a lot of us kind of feel those pressures, honestly anywhere inside. Being here, I have actually felt that I've been able to embrace my physicality and how I physically show up in this space. And I felt really comfortable. Lots of similarities in other cultures are here too.
I was worried that there would be only spicy food available, but it's been nice seeing non-spicy food options when we've gone out. For those of you that don't know, back when we were in Taiwan, I learned that my stomach type cannot handle spicy food. That was pretty intimidating before coming here, worrying about if I could eat anything at all. What's been nice is that we've gone to pharmacies here as well, and they've been incredibly helpful and incredibly well stocked with many different types of medicines. One of the pharmacies we went to, the pharmacist was really helpful and she spoke great English and was able to address our issues that we had. We've been pleasantly surprised by all of the not only skincare but healthcare products available here.
You could come here to Korea with nothing from back home and you'd be able to find probably everything that you need. As for today, starting with our outing at Oryukdo, it has been nice. We've actually been in Busan for a little bit as well, but this is our first time coming out and filming because we also just wanted to take in our new setting here in Busan. It is interesting to see the differences. Seoul and Busan, they're at opposite diagonal ends of the country, and obviously there's a lot of similarities. It's the same country, but there's a lot of differences with the environment. Seoul is very city-like, very busy. Here in Busan, though, relative to Seoul, it's been slower pace of life, it's felt like. Public transport has been more available in terms of seating, because I joked how in Seoul we hardly were able to find any seating whenever we'd get on the trains or the buses. But here in Busan, it's no issues finding seats.
The mountains and the hills and the coastline, beautiful.
Very beautiful. As a first formal video starting our time here in South Korea, we're very grateful to be greeted with such a nice day and to have already so much fun.
So we're both gonna get the milmyeon, regular, and then 4 of these steamed dumplings.
We just ordered and they gave us broth as tea.
It's like beef broth. So yummy.
Came in a little teapot.
So we're going to have milmyeon, which is a Busan specialty. What makes it different is that they use wheat noodles instead of the traditional buckwheat noodles with this cold dish. I will first try the mandu, which is Korean dumplings. She suggested I make this sauce. So it's a little bit of like dumpling sauce and mustard. Very good. Love dumplings. Mandus are like huge. This is really good.
I really like the flavor of the vegetables they put inside there. This sauce is delicious.
And now for the milmyeon. It's traditionally cold broth. Sometimes there's like ice chunks in here. It's definitely interesting if you're not used to cold soups, but it's very yummy and savory. There's like almost a vinegary taste to it too. Very delicious.
Absolutely delicious. I could just drink this broth straight too.
Here are the noodles. They're very bouncy and chewy. It looks like this milmyeon comes with cucumber, radish, meat, and then some egg. Lots to enjoy. This is really refreshing on a hot day.
Yeah, like you said, they're very bouncy, very chewy, and they complement the flavor of the broth really well too. I really like this dish. We've seen this dish offered sometimes seasonally as a more summer menu item, but it probably is offered year-round in other places too.
A pro tip is that I think restaurants that offer cold noodles will have usually a vinegar and then a mustard. So I'm gonna add a little more because I like these two flavors even more in this. Add a little more vinegar and then a little bit more mustard. And then it gave us scissors. I think this is to help cut the noodle in half because it's a whole ball. And stick it to the middle and hopefully that'll help cut it a little bit.
We continue our day by taking yet another bus past the Centum City Mall because the next location is a little further out. It's actually near the National Institute of Fisheries Science, apparently. We didn't know that until afterwards when we looked up on the map. This area is really cool because there are a lot of tiny shops and street stalls, street food.
Parts of it kind of reminded us of our time in Enoshima because of all the stalls and then leading towards temples and architectural buildings.
Before you get to the temple, there is a park, Zodiac Park specifically, and it has these figurines for all the different zodiacs. You can take a photo with your specific statue, as we saw a lot of people doing. And then as you continue walking, you get to see all the pretty architecture and pathways that are laid out. There was a lot of stone, a lot of attention to detail. It felt really nice walking through here.
Yeah, very serene and also just scenic. It felt like every part of this walkway was intentionally designed to really reflect the park and the temple at this area.
Luckily, the steps weren't too much. Sometimes when we go to places like this, it can be a lot of hiking with a lot of stairs, but this felt like an okay amount.
So here we are getting ready to approach yonggungsa, but before that, we kind of head off to this overlook and we get to see yonggungsa overlooking the ocean. And it is a very unique temple in that regard that it is just oceanside, so picturesque, very unique, very breathtaking, honestly.
So magical. We made our way down towards the water. There is a pathway that you can take to get closer to the water. And there were a lot of people down here already, a lot of photo ops. It gives you a completely different view of the temple because you can both look out at the water and also see the temple from the water. Afterwards, we made our way over the bridge towards the temple itself.
The bridge too is over these, what looks like guardian statues or even monks. And then also on the other side of it is the ocean. So it just feels kind of like a grand entrance to the temple.
A little bit like Spirited Away.
Yeah. Another thing that we appreciated about yonggungsa is that there seems to be a lot of like interactive activities where visitors can fill out these roof shingles because sometimes I'm sure that individual shingles may fall off of the temple and so they need to put replacements, but guests can write on them, write messages, prayers, and then there's also these golden leaves that can be hung from the rooftop as well. I also believe that there's lanterns too that guests can also fill out and have hung during festive events.
It's frienditas.
There was this downstairs cavern area. It seemed like a prayer room or prayer area of sorts. There was a donation box and a little altar. As we made our way further up, there was this enormous statue next to a couple buildings. And then at the very top was an area to see the entire temple looking out onto the water. The temple itself isn't super huge, which is why you won't get tired out walking around. It's very easy to navigate and at the same time, very impressive. It's definitely one of those postcard-worthy spots. Down below you can see where we were earlier near the water, and then you can see further up the coastline. So pretty.
At the top of the temple hike is this sea goddess of mercy where she overlooks the ocean and you can just offer up prayers or give reverence here as well.
There were a bunch of tiny statues too, hidden as well. Overall, our time here was very peaceful. We didn't feel rushed. We didn't feel overwhelmed either. This felt like a really nice spot to end our day at.
And luckily for a nice day, it really wasn't that crowded. Mind you though, we also kind of came close-ish to closing time, so we weren't really able to partake in much activities here.
After we were done, we made our way back towards the Zodiac Park.
We got hotteok outside of the temple. We got it with cheese inside. Hotteok is essentially like fried sweet bread. There's filling in it. Usually it's honey or brown sugar, but for our filling today, we got cheese. And it was 2001. Nice and crunchy. She made it fresh. The bread, so nice. Hotteok has quickly become one of my favorite street foods ever. Definitely here in Korea, but probably ever. The cheese is very nice and not too strong. It's a nice little dessert.
Wow, that is delicious. There is just the slightest bit of natural sweetness. I think if you ask most people, they wouldn't consider this sweet. There's a chewiness that reminds me of how Japanese milk bread, shokpan, is chewy. It's kind of chewy like that, but then obviously fried. So there's a crunch to it as well. I really like how this tastes, and I really like the texture as well. we are at our second spot today, which is
Haedong Yonggungsa Temple.
it was like a little over an hour bus ride from the last spot. The bus drivers here in Korea,
I think they were trained to drive roller coasters.
there's no soft braking or soft accelerating.
There was an E-Mart nearby, and so we got some drinks because we're thirsty before heading home. But then there's also more hotteok, so we got another one. This time, this is the seed and cheese hotteok. When we've passed by hotteok places, they usually have something like honey and then seeds and then cheese. We are finally going to try the seed version. I think there's like sesame seeds in there and maybe some black seeds as well. It's a nice nuttiness to go along with the honey and then the crunchy. Very good.
This is slowly becoming a highlight of Korea. This delicious street food. If you like mochi, if you like bread, if you like fried stuff,
If you're from America, elephant ear even, funnel cakes.
all together, I think you'll like this. I think you'll love this, actually. It's so good. We both got little drinks. What did you get?
I think it's like an orange lemonade.
I got a Korean ion water, basically. You know, like Pocari Sweat.
This tastes like an orange lemonade. It's very good.
This tastes like a very light ion water.
Our filming break really did a number on us. We definitely forgot to sign out that day.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We love reading the comments. And we'll see you in the next one.
See ya!